Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, December 8th. Been saying November all day. We're looking at the window traders market profile of the ES and NQ. The bulls continue to push higher. I am now going to call the daily up in the ES and SPY. They came out of an inside day. You have to call it successful, even though it had a lot of trouble throughout the day. I'm going to call the monthly still balance, especially since it's a monthly. We did take out, we are one time framing up for 2 months, but I'd like to get a little more legs to the upside on the monthly to go firmly up. We'll go over all the charts in a little while. We attempted to go trend up today. That failed, so only 34.4% of upside trend days have held. 14 trading days to go in the year, 3 weeks to go. Bulls are trying. Now remember, I will be rolling over Monday. So SPY has made another new high this year today. ES did not, but with the rollover, because I do not back adjust, we will be at new highs. So they're going to pretty much correlate at that point. Right now, unless you have a real catastrophic Monday, you're going to have right now a $5 rollover gap in ES on Monday. So we'll see how that goes. Going to be taking a lot of destinations to the upside. There's not many to the all-time high. Even in SPY, there's only about 15 left, or 16, including today's high. Had a good day today. Again, didn't do a lot in the afternoon. Those grinds were pretty painful. I took a short in ES against the overnight high the first time, which paid in A period. And then I started looking for longs in B and in C period because of the single prints, and we were one time framing up. Took a decent size long in ES when we did pull back and fill the singles. Ended up getting paid pretty nicely on it. Now again, 2 weeks in a row, I got burnt by liquidation breaks, and even though I had a good day, and look, I made money 8 out of the last 10 trading days, but I lost money this week. And last week I made, but not a lot, because of those 2 days. And with my win rate high. Today was different, I thought, especially in ES. You're going to have to get better, like I said earlier in the week, of recognizing the difference between a liquidation break and an inventory adjustment. I thought this was clearly an inventory adjustment from the market getting too long. So my out was going to be below B's low. It never got there. I was actually long at 04 on a one lot. I was long 2 at 06, but then I didn't do anything. I went full boat at 93.50 or 93 and a quarter, right around 93.50. Went up a little bit, took some off, came back in. I actually put a little more on at 93. So I was long 10 of them, and then it started its march up, and I started peeling them off in D period and did. I'm sorry, not in D period, C period this was, and did very well on it. Actually made money on the one at 04.50. At 04, I'm sorry, 04. I sold that out at 04.50. So I did well on that. That was a good trade. Then I flipped to the short side in NQ in E and F because the ebb and flow to me was pushing lower. So I wasn't shorting at the lows, but on pushes up I was, until we were below the 144 and did well on that. Then things change. You can sense things changing. Actually, my only loss today, believe it or not, was on a long in G. I thought we would pop F's high. We did, but I forgot where I bought it. Came in. I'm like, I'm not. I could always get back in. I should have gotten back in. I didn't. It wasn't a big loss. And then they finally did pop F's high. And then the only other trade I took on the afternoon, I took 2 shorts in L period, thinking ES would stop the one-time framing up. It didn't, but I got paid on both of those. Excuse me. So again, a good day, a good week for the most part, but because I got caught on 2 liquidation breaks, not a profitable one. But hey, that happens. As far as destinations, before I do that, let's go over the others real quick. Righty ends with a 10Y point of control, and they did not get their IB high or low, and did not come out of balance on the daily. NQ ends with an afternoon pullback in F, and that's it. We don't end with anything. The price probe wasn't far enough away from K's high to use K's high. We're only 7 wide, and we're too close to the day's low for an afternoon pullback. So all we have in ES and SPY is the day's high and low. So it'll be a lot of chop inside of here if we end up there. As far as destinations, today's high is 460.75. Today's low is 457.21. Today's high is a weekly high. In ES, the weekly high is now 13.25, and today's low is 78.25. So again, it's not last week's low, it's now this week's low, which is the real important one, okay? Which is 52. So keep that in mind in ES. Now let's go over these charts. So we're going to start with the Russell. Again, some people will call the Russell up, and I have no problem with that. But because I've been calling it a 19-month balance, I'm going to stick to that. And until they come out of this balance and get acceptance either above August of 2022's high or October of 2023's low, it will be in balance for me. Okay? You want to call up, I don't have a problem with that. But to me, we just stretched the balance low, and now, 2 months ago, and now we're trying to go higher. But it's balance. The weekly is up. So they came, right? They came into balance on the week of October 30th here. Stayed in balance with the inside week. Finally broke out of balance this week to up. Another inside week 3 weeks ago. So they went, right? They were down, then they went balance. That huge move just put us into balance. Another week of balance inside, then boom, up, back to balance inside week, back to up. So the weekly is up, the monthly is balanced, the weekly is up for the Russell, and the daily is balanced. It's a 5-day balance. The good news, they're holding this huge day from back on December 1st, and now they're staying for now above the 200-day moving average. So monthly and daily are balanced, the weekly is up. Triple Qs. We did not take out last month's high yet. I want that to happen. If we take it out, I will firmly go up on the monthly. But until we do, I'm still going to call it a 6-month balance, including this month. Okay? You want to call up, I have no problem with that. It's an art. There's no right or wrong. Weekly is down. Now, we did come back very nicely into the last 2 weeks. We did. But I thought we took out the previous 2 weeks' lows by enough of an amount, $2.50, that I would call the weekly down. Now, I have no problem if you want to call this balance, right? No problem. For now, I'm calling it down. If we take out this week's high, firmly back to balance. And then we'll see if we take out the previous week's high by any measure to go from balance again back to up. So if you want to call this balance, I don't have a problem. I just didn't like how much they had pulled back on this week earlier. So I'm calling the monthly balance and the weekly down, or call it down to balance. And then the daily on the triple Qs is now up. I would call that up. We're one-time framing up now, 4 days. And let's go to ES and SPY. Now remember, we have the rollover Monday for me, and then we have ex-dividend for SPY a week from today. Now, we're one-time framing up for 2 months. However, we've only taken out July's high by $1.30. I'd like a little more push to the upside before I call the monthly up. Otherwise, it's still a 6-month balance. When it's a longer time frame, I need a little more confirmation, right? The weekly is one-time framing up 6 weeks. We didn't even end up with the inside week. Now, the last 2 weeks, not the last 2 weeks, this week we didn't get much distance away from the previous week, but it's still up. So monthly balance, weekly up, and the daily up. Came out of a 12-day balance up. Now, the volume stinks, right? We're only at 75 million. I was hoping to come out with some real good tempo, but for now, it's up. Are we waiting for the Fed? Who knows? But for now, I'll call the daily up. Next week, we have a couple of bond auctions, Monday, Tuesday. We have CPI Tuesday, and then you have the Fed, which is the big one on Wednesday. So anyway, I hope you had a good week trading. Remember, there's 3 weeks left to go in this trading year, so there's 3 weeks left to take advantage of that offer for $225 for the year, payable through Venmo or PayPal, okay, with 10% going to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Please take advantage of it. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this YouTube channel. Enjoy your evening and your weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.